Abracadabra.
Hello there and welcome back to Cobra Vids. This time we're going to be working on a car. I know it, guys. Don't say it. It's a Jeep. It's Mopar. Something you hardly ever see in my garage or in my driveway. So anyway, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be diagnosing a problem it has with an error code. And here's what that error code is. All right, so the code that we came up with was the P0303, and there's some severity codes in there as well, but that's the only code that is coming up in this car here right now. Alrighty, so the error code that I just showed you is the P0303, and what the fuck are you doing? And that code indicates a misfire on cylinder 3. Now, the thing to keep in mind is when there is a very specific cylinder that it continuously errors out on, then that really narrows it down to what could be causing this problem. And flip back. Okay. So first thing, we have to diagnose the easiest, and then we'll get into the harder if needed. Okay. The hardest thing about this is knowing that I'm going to be working on a Mopar engine. The easiest part is going to be finding out what exactly is wrong with this engine. All right, this engine is the 3.2 liter. It's slightly larger version you'll find in like the Dodge Caravans and the Dodge Avengers. Cars like that, you'll find this V6 in there. This is the 3.2, but in like the van, you'll see the 3.6. You might even see something larger. I haven't, but you might. So let me show you something. The wonderful, wonderful engineers of Dodge has built this engine in a certain way. Now we got rid of that sun. Not that sun. That sun's still here. All right, so like I was saying, the wonderful engineers of Dodge decided it would be an awesome idea if they put all the coil packs under all of the intake stuff. So what that means is we have to pull off the upper intake and the breather. Blah. So we're going to have to start with the flathead, and I believe that's an 8mm, 9mm bolt for the intake. It's not quite a 10, so maybe an 8. And there are a few. There's one here, there's one back here, there's one right there, there's one there, and I believe there's one right there. Is you have to come down here, and they got these bolts here to hold on the back side here. It supports it. And there's a nut here and one right there. And what you got there is a nut and a washer that has to come off. And we may even have to loosen up these brackets, because I know in the Avenger I worked on, these brackets had to be loosened up so it would work itself out, but we're going to try to avoid that, because that was a pain. I've done a few of these engines since then. I know I said I don't work on Mopar. After you get those two bolts, all these bolts and nuts, then there's this bracket right here that has a couple bolts on. It has to come loose and it has to come off. And right there, there is a nut stud right there that has to come out in order for this bracket to come all the way off. Just that nut will get this bracket loose once you undo this and this one here. And that should allow the intake to slide back enough to where we don't have to remove those bracket bolts. All right, well, we're going to get that done, and we're going to get a little bit closer, come back, and take another look at it. Okay, so we pulled out all the plugs, cleaned them up, re-gapped them, and then we reversed 1 and 3 around. Kyler's in there right now making sure that the codes are cleared out, and then we're going to fire it up and see if anything comes back. All right, so the only code left in here is the P0303 permanent, which will stay in here until the computer sees that the problem's fixed over a certain amount of startups, drive cycles. So, all right, so we're going to have Kyler start up the car now. Okay, let's hear it run. Okay. That wasn't reassuring. Sure runs pretty good. Runs pretty damn smooth. Shut it off. Start it back up. Okay. All right, so we're gonna let it run a bit, check the meter again, and we'll show you what we see. Alrighty folks, so we took the Jeep for a test drive. There was improvements on acceleration and overall operation, so that's very positive. And it's still just showing that one 303 permanent light or error code. So that should stay in there until it clears after probably 10 drive cycles. Somewhere around there, maybe sooner. I don't know the Jeep too well. But we'll go ahead and just let it drive around for a while. Yeah, just go. Go drive. You're free. And then we'll bring it back in and check it for error codes, or maybe even that check engine light will pop on. We never know. But it will indicate exactly if the coil packs are bad. If we have 0 issues until miles down the road, then we may consider that that being that the spark plugs are very badly needed. And I'm going to go ahead and recommend to the owner that spark plugs, oil, the air filter, and just all of the tune-up stuff be done on the engine, because by the way that one of those spark plugs, that number 3 spark plug, was absolutely finger tight. I undid it with my fingers, didn't even have to use the ratchet. So yeah, that's exactly where we're at. Tune-up stuff, this Jeep should run all right, even though it is a Mopar product. All right, guys, if there's any updates on it before I post this video, I will go ahead and put the results down in the comments, so check there before leaving this video. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it was something that will help you diagnose your problems, your misfires, and how I tested that misfire. That'll actually work with any car with individual coil packs. So, until next time, guys, stay safe, stay free, and definitely take care of your car, because your car wants to take care of you. See you on the next one.